Chapel, white or black. I'm David Gore. I'll see you then. Good night.
We had some light rain today, and this is the beginning of a very unsettled weather pattern that will continue all the way into next week. We'll have waves of rain and storms and cooler temperatures. All those details are coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 and 7, digging deeper into just what caused a hazardous materials truck to crash in Aiken, the latest on the investigation. Also had the deadline for a real ID was today, how local DMVs are handling the rush. And a new income tax reform bill in the Palmetto State. What this means for South Carolinians as your News at 7 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 7.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dee Griffin. Thanks so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins in Aiken County, where the latest on that crash involving an 18-wheeler sending one person to the hospital has been revealed. And Graham Lee has the latest.
Chaos Tuesday evening as the sheriff's office was one of several agencies called to a type of crash law enforcement says rarely occurs.
You know, I go back to when we had the big train derailment type thing years and years ago. But no, this is not something, common that we see, on a weekly basis.
Investigators say the 2024 Freightliner was heading eastbound on I-20 when it ran off the left side of the road near exit 22, then crashed between the two bridges running along the Highway 1 interchange. Aiken County EMA, Hazmat, Highway Patrol, SCDOT, and others then came to support the sheriff's office.
Law enforcement, typically will arrive at these scenes first. Sometimes the fire department can, get there first. But once you identify that you not only have a traffic collision, but then there's maybe hazardous materials involved as well, the resources just start to branch out from there.
The hazardous material in the truck was identified as methyl acetate, a highly flammable substance used in lacquers and paint thinner and to make pharmaceuticals, but the spill did not cause any harm. While Highway Patrol is investigating, the Sheriff's Office has detours on Highway 1 and East Furnish Road and Fulmer Road and are urging the public to heed the warnings.
When you get to these, detours, again, just be patient. We'll get you where you need to go. We just have to do it, methodically and safe as it could possibly be, and to try to get the problem we're dealing with, mitigated. And the safety is obviously the most important thing for everybody out there on the roads.
South Carolina Highway Patrol is still investigating what caused the truck to veer off I-20. Meanwhile, the driver was taken to the hospital. There's no update on his injuries nor his condition at this time. And this just in, Screven County announces the arrest in the Newton shooting that killed 22-year-old father of one. 19-year-old Demarion Butler was arrested in connection to the murder of Isaiah Barbie last month. Butler was on the run since the shooting. For more on the arrest, just go to our website, WJBF.com. Well, it's time now for a first look at our weather with Chief Meteorologist Jenna Bertracci. And the ball game is going on, so that means the rain is holding off for now.
Yep, it's completely dry, D, which is perfect for the game tonight. The Augusta Green Jackets are about to have the first pitch against the Hickory Crawdads. This is game 2 of a week of baseball in store for us, which there is a lot of rain in the forecast this week. This could end up becoming an issue for the Green Jackets as we go into the weekend. But over the next few days, the nighttime hours look pretty dry. So for the game tonight, we're starting out in the lower 70s, then we're going down into the upper 60s. Now, even though it's dry, it will still be mostly cloudy, and these clouds will persist pretty much all week long. Our high today was only 75 because of the cloud cover, so nearly 10 degrees below average, and a low of 53. We picked up on 0.02 inches of rain at Augusta Bushfield. We're at 72 now in Augusta, 69 in Thompson, 75 in Millen. Bamberg, you're at the 70-degree mark. 69 in Crawfordville, but warmer in Sandersville and Waynesboro at 75 degrees. All of us are much cooler than yesterday, especially up in McCormick, 13 degrees cooler. And you can see the dew points are pretty high, upper 50s to low 60s, a lot of moisture around. So even though it's cooler today, it was still pretty muggy feeling outside with winds out of the east, only up to around 6 miles per hour at the highest. And as for our satellite and radar, we did have a few stray showers exit Saluda and Aiken County just an hour ago. The rest of us completely dry. As we zoom out, you can see this warm front lifting to our north. This will warm us back into the middle 80s tomorrow, and notice those chances of rain are sticking around. It's possible that we could even see some strong to severe storms Thursday night into Friday. I'll have a look at your futurecast for that coming up, but back to you, Dee.
All right, thanks so much. We'll see you in a few minutes. Today was the last day to get that gold star on your license, the real ID, if you want to fly or go into federal buildings. The DMV expected big crowds as summer travel picks up. About 62% of South Carolina licenses have the gold star. Even without it, though, Homeland Security says you can still fly, just bring extra ID. Some in Aiken were caught off guard. Frequent flyers say it's a must.
Several months ago, it was on not on TV, but on Facebook and all that your driver's license, if it had, and I'll show, if it had the logo at the top right corner, it sufficed. Well, you got to have a star. So I had to come and get a star. But they did me a favor. So instead of having to renew my license in 3 years, I got one free.
If you missed the deadline, don't panic. You still can get the real ID. Just make an appointment. The South Carolina House passed a new income tax reform bill. You may remember previous versions that would mean a big tax increase for South Carolinians. Caroline Yaffa tells us how this new version takes a different approach.
South Carolina has the largest income tax rate in the Southeast, but a bill that passed in the House could change that. Currently, South Carolina has a top income tax rate of 6.2%.
In the income tax in South Carolina, by putting it into statutory law and requiring the General Assemblies in the future to do so, while also lowering our top marginal rate.
Under the latest version of this bill, if you make more than $30,000, you would pay 5.39%. But if you make less than $30,000, you would pay 1.99%. But the rate would decrease over time eventually, leading to no income tax in the Palmetto State.
We will then have a flat tax. The triggers then continue down until the rate hits zero. A true historic day for reform in South Carolina.
Representative Justin Bamberg proposed an amendment, which he says would immediately make the income tax rate zero, but it was voted down.
Taking state income tax to zero now gives people more money to take care of their families.
But Representative Brandon Newton says you can't just bring it to zero in South Carolina.
It would be a 40% deduction in the state budget in 1 year. I think the way that it was explained by Frank Rainwater in one meeting was everyone could take a prisoner home at night because we couldn't house them in Department of Corrections.
Representative Jordan Pace agrees with Bamberg's amendment and says the House should have taken more time to look at the bill and see if they could cut waste in the budget to make up for it.
Listen, I'm all about cutting taxes. I'm all about going to zero. My fear is we've rushed this entire thing in the last few weeks.
The Senate says they will not take up this bill this year, but will instead wait until next January. In Columbia, I'm Caroline Yaffa.
It is the end of the line for a longtime neighborhood park. A fence is up and demolition is underway at West Vineland Park in Augusta. The park served this neighborhood for decades, but last year the city sold it to the Augusta National. Neighbors are not surprised by it being torn down, but still say it is a loss.
See people who took their children to that park. We took our dog, everyone took our dog, and it's a loss, and we suffer quite a few losses back here, but the Augusta National is